Welcome to the Long Run with Joel and Christy. I'm Joel.
And I'm Christy.
And what are we doing today?
We're going to share with you how we live on one income in the year 2021. It was a dream of ours a few years ago that we start a YouTube channel where we shared our experiences and learning to be a little more frugal and a little more healthy and all that. And so we decided that I would stay home and work on growing the YouTube channel so that it could reach more people and hopefully give other people ideas on how they can do it as well, and share their experiences with us. So that does mean that we live on one income.
Okay, so the first way that we live on one income in 2021, and we heard this from the frugal wife. She said that learn to be content. Learn to be content. And we kind of live by that, and we've kind of made it our own and by saying that we have figured out what's important to us. Now, when I lost my job, 8 years ago, we really figured out what was important to us. And that was really the eye opener for us as far as living a debt-free and frugal life, was when we didn't have any income coming in. We really had to find out what was important to us. And we began to live by those values. You probably saw in a video that we just did on how cheap and frugal really looks. That you saw that we don't have a dining room table because right now a dining room table is not important to us. We have learned to get around that, and maybe one day we'll save up for it and buy it when we can. But until then, we just don't have that.
We have 3 chairs that sit at the bar.
That's right. So we figured out what was important to us, and we started living by those values, and by that, we're able to live on one income in 2021. Now, secondly, the way we live on one income in 2021 is we budget. Yes, we budget and we budget and we budget again. And we use budgeting software, and I want to encourage you to do that. Use budgeting software. If it's YNAB, or if it's Mint, or if it's
Every Dollar,
or maybe you just like Excel spreadsheets and you make your own, which I did before we used YNAB. I used an Excel spreadsheet, and I had everything lined out, and it would take away from the accounts, and just kind of like it does in any budgeting software. But use a budgeting software. Put out your accounts and the things that you want to put money to, and then make sure you live by your budget. Now, we live by our budget. We budget a certain amount for each month for different things. And then we spend those amounts in those accounts, and anything that's left over in that can go to something else. But we do budget. We make sure that we give every dollar a job, which is one of the tenets of you need a budget. So we give every dollar a job. So every dollar that we make goes towards something, whether it's rent, or whether it's utilities, or whether it's groceries, or whether it's fund money, or if it's our emergency fund. Every dollar goes to something. And so every dollar has a job, and every dollar does its job every month.
Yep. So
the second reason that we can live on one income in 2021 is we budget.
Yes.
All right. The third reason that we can live on one income in 2021 is that we use sinking funds, and we talk about those a lot. And I've got a video that I did on sinking funds that I need to update, but I did one about a year ago on sinking funds and how we use those. We set up sinking funds for things like Christmas gifts, for new electronics. We set up sinking funds I have one for work reimbursements, because I do a lot of I use my credit card a lot with work, and then I will reimburse myself for that. So I have a sinking fund set for that, so that I know that money is earmarked for that. And when I cut that check, it goes straight back to the credit card and to pay it off. So
also things like car registration,
car
car insurance. We pay
and
car insurance every 6 months instead of every month.
That's right.
Like
and so we save a little bit in paying our car insurance every 6 months instead of every month. And so we save up for that. And then we had a sinking fund for a second car that we used. We saved up about $9,000, and we bought the car with cash, and we don't owe anything on it. So, we use sinking funds pretty religiously around our home to save up for different things. And if you'd like to know more about those, drop me a comment below and let me know, and I can redo that video. Or you can go check out the one that I did. It may be a little dated, but it pretty much tells the story of how we use sinking funds in our budget. The fourth way that we live on one income in 2021 is that we cook most of our meals at home.
Yep.
Now, I know that's a shocker for a lot of people, but we do. We cook most of our meals at home. We eat most of our meals at home. Not to say that we don't go out from time to time, because we do.
Usually just once a week, though.
Yeah, about once a week. And on Sundays, we treat ourselves to some frou-frou coffee and some breakfast before we do certain things. And so, but we cook most of our meals at home. We meal plan, we grocery shop towards that meal plan, and then we and then we cook at home. And we eat those meals at home, and sometimes we get leftovers off of those, and we can make a grocery haul last 2, 3, sometimes 4 weeks. So we cook most of our meals at home, and we make a meal plan to make sure that we stay under our grocery budget. So that's the fourth way. And then the fifth way, and the most important, other than being content, and that first one was really the most important, but the second most important is that we live below our means. I know that's shocking in today's society, but we don't spend more than we bring in. And so we don't live with credit card debt. We don't live buying something today and paying it off next month, or 2 months, or 3 months, or 4 months down the road. We do use credit cards, but we pay them off each month. We pay the balance off so that we don't pay any kind of interest fees or anything, but we like to build up the points. And we've gotten a lot of free stuff off of Amazon because of the Amazon card that I have. And sometimes that helps when you use that card and build up those points and get those free things. And that's another way that we can live. We didn't add that as a point, but that's another way that we can live on one income in 2021, is because we build up points. But we do live below our means. We do make that budget. We live by it. It's not something that a budget is a guide. And so we sometimes we do move some money around from time to time for other things that we find out that is important to us during the month. But we do make sure that we live below our means every month. The money that we bring in is the money we budget, and that's the money we have to spend, and we don't spend anything over that. So those are the 5 ways that we live on one income in 2021. If you're living on one income in 2021, drop us a comment below. Let us know how that's going for you. We'd love to hear that.
If you have tips.
And if you have tips that you'd like to share with us, we'd love to hear those. If you're on 2 incomes and you're trying to get to 1 income and use that other income for savings, you want to drop us a comment below and say, hey, this is how we're doing that. And we'd love to hear that as well. So drop us a comment below and let us know how you're doing it in 2021. All right. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell for updates when we upload new videos on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and sometimes on the weekend. You kind of never know when we're going to drop one in there. And don't forget to drop us a comment below. Let us hear from you. Share this out for people that you'd like to, that could maybe use some encouragement on living on one income. We'd love to give some encouragement to people along the way. So with that said, I think that's going to do it today for The Long Run with Joel and Christy. I'm Joel.
And I'm Christy.
And don't forget, it's the long run. Give yourself a little grace.
Bye.